Hey folks, we're going to talk about two-piece rotors and when it comes time to replace them, what you look for. This is a 380 millimeter by 34 millimeter rotor from Power Brake. Again, we used to sell a lot of the brake kits. They only do off-road trucks now. It's a little frustrating, but we're still getting support from them, and they'll still sell us rotor rings and pads. This has got a different thermal paint on it to tell you what temperature the rotor has ever gotten to at least once. And it's a two-piece rotor, so it's got an aluminum hat and an iron rotor ring. And when the rotor ring wears out, you order a new ring and new hardware. They call them bobbins. And then we got a new set of pads too, and I'll show you what to look for. This is what the new rotor looks like. It's got a coating on it that you can easily get off the first time you apply the brakes, but the coating keeps it from rusting. It's all good, and it keeps the exterior from rusting. So this is the original rotor ring we had on 2 different cars for 3 seasons on the same set of pads. So this set of pads was on our 2018 Mustang in the 2018 and 2019 seasons, and it was on Trigger in the 2023 season. Of time trial, track events, there's probably, I don't know how many events, 50, 60 events on these. So we got a new set of pads, and they're fairly thick, but we still have about half the pad material left, which is pretty amazing. So we get these pads from Power Brake. That's their PV25. Again, we don't really sell this stuff. It's just what we know works, so I don't want to change it. It's weird sitting here in a G-Lock shirt talking about another brake pad. I have G-Locks on the back. Normally I would buy G-Locks, but it's kind of a good setup that we've used on 2 different cars, so I'm going to stick with what works. But the rotor, and if you look around, you can see these little micro cracks. Those are normal. That lets you know that there's some heat going on. But what we don't want to see are these cracks that radiate out to the edge of the rotor. That means the crack is propagated to the edge and it starts to separate, and those separations, there's one here, there's one almost all the way there, and you can feel a rise there, and that starts wearing the pads more rapidly. So we're going to put a new set of pads on with the new rotors. Hopefully we can get 3 more seasons out of them. We were seeing 1.7 G stops with aero, about 1.55 G stops without aero. With these brakes and the Ford Racing ABS module from the S197. So really happy with the brakes. Just kind of a preemptive maintenance that we probably put off a little too long, feeling that one. But the new rotors are well worth it. I think these are about $400 for the pair. Maybe $400 each, I don't remember. But again, 3 seasons worth, so I'm pretty happy with that. We still have the stock GT brakes on the back. We're going to do something about that later this year to move to like the Dark Horse brakes, or the GT350 brakes would require a new rear upright and a lot of other changes. So we're going to look at some options and see what we can do. But I'm really happy with the braking, and we'll be out there this weekend and bedding these in.